Welcome to Pretty Lies and Alibis. Let's seek the truth and travel the long road to justice together. What you know, Alibis, welcome to another episode of Pretty Lies and Alibis. I'm Gigi. Happy Friday to you. It is the weekend. It's really not. It's Thursday night for me, but you know, I've got mom stuff tomorrow, so I'm recording this ahead of time. Music fact of the day: Prince noticed the Bangles when they were a very young band and liked them. So what did he do? He gave them a song he wrote called Manic Monday, which became a huge hit for them, #2 on the charts. But in a strange twist of fate, they were beaten out of the #1 position by Prince himself for his song Kiss. All right, we're jumping right back in. August 16th, a representative from Charles's life insurance company emails Detective Moffat asking if Lori is a suspect in Charles's murder. August 17th, Melanie texts Lori, did they pick up Bailey, which is JJ's service dog? Lori did not respond. The same day, Lori reserves a budget rental van for that move. August 20th, Lori travels from Phoenix to Idaho using the name Lori Ryan. Now, this image I'm putting up, this is not the date for it, but this isn't the last time she does it. If you look on the right, though, that is her Hawaii driver's license. And on that, it says Lori Noreen Ryan Vallow. So she kept the Ryan name for, I guess, moments like this when she needed to travel kind of incognito. August 22nd, there's a screenshot of a confirmation from a Hampton Inn in Rexburg. Also, there are photos of the school JJ would go on to attend in Rexburg on Lori's phone, and photos at BYU on BYUI on this date. I think I got that right. Some people had corrected me on BYUI. August 25th, Lori travels from Idaho to Phoenix, again, using the name Lori Ryan. August 27th, 2019. All this is 2019, by the way. Lori has the utilities and the internet turned on at the townhouse that she would eventually move into. August 30th, JJ's service dog Bailey is picked up by the person that trained him. We know Lori tried to sell him online. And you think about everything JJ's been through in these past few months. Really, January started the chaos of the separation with Charles and Lori that was very bad in a lot of ways. And I'm sure JJ witnessed a lot of back and forth, or his mom ranting or whatever. And then Charles disappears from his life. And contrary to what Lori thinks, JJ fully comprehends that his dad, you know, according to what the teacher said, he's not in heaven. He's on a business trip or something to that effect. And then you're going to move with this kid, this poor baby. Just chaos, total chaos in his life. So August 30th also, it's a little confusing about these dates, but Colby said in the middle of August, and then he also said in another interview at the end of August, that Lori showed up at his work with JJ and Tylee and tells him that they're moving. She said she couldn't tell him where they were moving and told him it was for his own protection. She also said she got a new job, and he noticed Tylee seemed to be sad about moving and really didn't say too much. He should have known that was a lie when she said she was getting a job. He knows his mom. So he hugged them and said he didn't know if they were staying in Arizona or not, but he thought it was good to get JJ and Tylee out of the house Charles was murdered in. He also told investigators in Gilbert that growing up, she would move around a lot and change her telephone number. He said he changed schools a lot and sometimes would stay maybe just for a few months at a time. He said when she was moving, he assumed it was because Lori consistently did that anyway. Also, it's JJ's last day at his amazing school in Arizona. August 31st, Lori moves to Rexburg, and she calls it Zion with Tylee and JJ. Lori tells Melanie Gibb that Tylee will be attending BYUI. Tylee drove the Jeep to Rexburg alone, by the way, and spoke with a friend on the phone for about 20 minutes while she was driving. She told her friend the reason they were moving to Idaho was because she was attending BYUI and that Lori had gotten a job there. I've often wondered if Lori promised her of getting her into college as a way to get her to go, because again, Tylee's leaving friends in Arizona. I'd seen pictures of Tylee when she was in high school, kind of out in the desert with her friends at night. They would do these couch burns, I guess, and She looked really happy, but you think she made friends in Arizona, then she moved to Hawaii, and then you got Texas in there. And again, like JJ, she never was really settled in one place too long. But neighbors do confirm seeing Tylee when they moved in and saw her briefly a couple of times after they moved in, but not since the first or second week of September. Tylee's friend once said that when she was in Rexburg, they texted on a very regular basis. Tylee would usually respond within about 20 minutes or so, but suddenly the responses would take 2 hours, which was unusual. And eventually, Tylee stopped responding at all, and we know why. In the last message she sent to Tylee, she asked about school, and the response was that she started the next day. On the following day, her friend texted to ask her about the first day of school with no response. So between September and October, Colby, which is Lori's oldest son, told Dateline, every time I did reach out, hey, Ty, I love you, it'd be like, hey, love you, super busy. Or my mom would say that Tylee was busy. I'd text her, is Tylee okay? She would respond, yeah, she's super busy. September 2nd, Zulema texts Alex, how was the trip? And Alex says, pretty good considering the dark portal we brought with us. Zulema put a question mark, and Alex says, Tylee. Alex says, can you call a tornado for a single person? Zulema says, a tornado? Maybe an inner tornado. Alex says, inner is good. Zulema says, I think you guys will be led to deal with the dark one when it's time. Alex says, agreed. And then he says, it's true. How does that woman lay her head down at night? I do not know. September 3rd at 10 a.m., Alex texts Lori asking what she was doing. And she said she was working on Z's, which is zombies. Alex would tell Lori that he was proud of her and says, no more Z's. Lori said, we are trying to get to the bottom of what we need to do to eliminate them completely. I'm sure you will be told also. Alex says, I'm going to get lunch and probably going to the range with his rifles. But then Lori says, bad news on our brother. Alex says, what's that? Z. Zombie. Really? When was that? As of early January. Alex says, this explains his interest in Charles. Lori said Ned recruited him shortly after. This is why he's part of the 24. Alex says that makes sense. Wow. Lori says more sad news. Guess who is the final Z of the 24? Alex says Pops or Brandon. Lori says nope. Think of Judas, who loved me completely, then turned against me. Alex says tell me. Lori says yes, our sweet Adam. He's in paradise, the real Adam. It finally makes sense. Alex says, when did that happen? Lori said, about the time he turned. Makes sense. He being dedicated to Brandon and Ned. Alex says, so February? And Lori says, yep. Alex says, how did Adam die, or was he forced out? Lori says, it's crazy, I know, but it's sad and true. Now we know all 24. Forced out, I think. With his anxiety, he wasn't strong enough to fight back. Lori says JJ is stronger, fights them off every day. Adam was a 3L. JJ is a 4.3L. Alex says, quote, that's when he yells no. And he puts like a lot of O's, end quote. Lori says, yep. Alex says, are you going to tell Shish about Adam or, and I think Shish, maybe Summer? Lori says, no. Trust level is too low. Alex says, okay, my lips are sealed. Lori says, good boy. Learning more. I'll fill you in this afternoon. Like she's patting the little puppy on the head because, you know. Ugh. So September 3rd, Alex sends Zulema a picture of a rifle with a scope and says he's at the range. September 4th is JJ's first day at school in Rexburg. September 5th, Lori withdraws JJ from school in Arizona, and she emailed staff. They couldn't get Lori to follow the formal process with signatures, and they did not get a records request from his new school, and they say that was not normal. So September 5th, staff from JJ's old school in Arizona emails Lori wishing her the best and asks for her to confirm his last day. Lori responds the Friday before Labor Day, which would have been September 4th. September 6th, Alex is at Chad's property from 12:41 to 12:53, and it looks like he pings as if he was in and around the house. And there's nothing in that document dump indicating he was at the sites where JJ and Tylee's bodies would be found in June of that next year. But we're just a couple of days away from Tylee being murdered, and he's at Chad's. So a photo of Tylee and JJ is taken through the blinds at the townhouses, and the neighbor took the picture thinking it was odd they were playing with stuffed animals in a puddle of water. By the way, just want to show you real quick, Lori was moved yesterday to Ada County to await her trial. So she is now there, and I believe she's probably in isolation because it's a much bigger jail there. It's not, I mean, where Lori is at now is very tiny. Also, you know how Lori was a translated being and did not have to go tinkle? That's a lie, because they stopped at a gas station, and I don't think they let her buy like some gum and peanut butter cups. So there you go. But you know, when you get put into pokey, you lose your portal and your translated gifts, such as not having to go wee-wee. September 7th, Tylee's last Instagram post was put up. The same day, Tammy Daybell volunteers at the Rexburg Rescue Run. Lori logs on to JJ's old school app in Arizona. Now, she logs on around important times coming up. This is one day before Tylee is murdered. JJ told his new friend from the townhomes that he and Tylee would be leaving soon. The neighbor said they played every day almost until JJ said he was moving to his grandmother's. They told my son that. Oh, yeah, we're going to visit my grandmother. We didn't know where. I said, oh, okay. And I understood because school was about to start. And she was going to school from what I understood. So they were telling everybody that Tylee was going to college up there. One day, y'all, before Tylee is murdered, dismembered, and burned, Lori does a podcast with Melanie Gibb. It's called To Feel the Fire. What is a baptism of fire? And the description, following up on their first Feel the Fire podcast, Melanie and Lori share what their baptism of fire was like with insightful references that an ancient wise man, Nephi, spoke about. How did it help Melanie in her own life with a special needs son, with feeling like she didn't know how to navigate her challenges, and what it took for her to experience that clean feeling in her heart? Lori is so descriptive with ways that fire can feel to all of us and how it manifests in her life. She speaks from great conviction and experience that we can all learn from. September 8th, the day Tylee is last seen alive. Chad Googles south-southwest wind direction and visited a website. What is the definition of south-southwest wind direction? I'm going to do some research tonight and do some historical weather data for Rexburg to see if they were expecting wind on the day Tylee would be buried. The same day, Chad and Tammy signed paperwork, get this, increasing the amount of her life insurance policy to the maximum amount allowed. We're a month and a few days away from her murder. This is the day Tylee is last seen in Yellowstone National Park. Lori's sister Summer said that Tylee had to have been killed first because she would have never let anything happen to JJ. Lori's phone pings there at 1:09 p.m. and this is also where her last photo, Tylee's last photo, is hugging JJ with Alex beside them. The photo was taken at 2:49 p.m. local time. And then we see that selfie with Lori and JJ. Investigators note they were driving a Ford truck. They're photographed at the entrance by cameras. That was the last known sighting of Tylee. And also, after this date, Tylee is never mentioned in text messages again. Now, on this trip, JJ was seen running back and forth and in and out of the frame in front of Old Faithful. Now, at some, okay, back to this picture. If you look at Tylee, I've always thought Tylee looked a little bit unhealthy in this picture. I've always wondered maybe if Tylee wasn't being drugged slowly or something, but she just didn't look like she did. Tylee had a lot on her plate. Man, that picture of her, you see that big smile hugging JJ. She loved that boy. And in the end, Tylee was all JJ had. And like Summer said, Tylee would have never let anything happen to that boy. You know your girl's been lacking in the sleep department lately, but I found something that helps me sleep much better when I do sleep. Who knew that a better pillowcase is all you need for better sleep? Let's talk about practicing self-care while you sleep. Set yourself up with better sleep this year with Blissy's award-winning 100% mulberry silk pillowcases. It gives you better hair and skin. Seriously, silk, it's what's best for your hair and skin. It reduces frizz, tangles, and prevents breakage. That's because it keeps the moisture in your hair and your skincare products and natural moisture on your skin, unlike cotton does. You can say goodbye to wrinkly, dry, flaky skin in the morning and wake up with healthier and shinier hair that won't take you an hour to fix. Blissy's pillowcase regulates temperatures, keeping you cool at night. You don't have to flip the pillow anymore, thank goodness. Unlike other silk pillowcases, these are the highest quality silk. And guess what? They're machine washable and durable. Valentine's Day is coming up, so why not give the gift of better sleep? Plus, it comes in gift-ready packaging they'll be sure to love. I love that the pillow stays cool, I don't have to flip it, and no more sleep lines. Everybody loves them. They have a ton of different prints and colors, and they make great gifts because there's an option for literally anyone. Hey, men, they love them too. They have over 1 million raving fans, and you need to be next. Try now, risk-free for 60 nights at blissy.com/whattheworld. Get an additional 30% off. That's Blissy, BLISSY.com/whattheworld, and use code WhatTheWorld to get 30% off. Your skin and your hair will thank you. Our next partner is Athletic Greens. I take AG1 by Athletic Greens literally every day. I gave AG1 a try because I'm always busy and my diet isn't the best, but I still want to get all the vitamins my body needs without taking a ton of pills. I take AG1 in the morning before my first cup of coffee, and it makes me feel ready to take on my day. Why take a bunch of different things when you can just mix 1 scoop of powder and water once a day? It's the healthiest thing you can do in under a minute. With 1 scoop, I'm getting 75 vitamins and minerals that help my mood, energy levels, and healthier hair, skin, and nails. It's delivered to me every month, and it's been the easiest way to arm my body with everything it needs to tackle my day. If you're looking for an easier way to take supplements, Athletic Greens is giving you a free 1-year supply of vitamin D and 5 free travel packs with your first purchase. Go to athleticgreens.com/whattheworld. That's athleticgreens.com/whattheworld. Check it out. So at some point, Alex texts Zulema and says they're at Yellowstone with the kids. Investigators note this is the last time both kids are mentioned in text messages between Zulema and Alex. 6:40 p.m., Alex's truck leaves Yellowstone's west entrance. From 6:45 to 7:02 p.m., cell phone data has Alex's truck at Buckaroo's Barbecue Grill in West Yellowstone. And then Alex returns to Rexburg at 8:37 p.m. His phone stays at Lori's apartment or townhouse until 9:35. And then Alex goes to a gas station named Mavericks from 9:43 to 9:53. Alex returns to Lori's apartment at 10:44 to 11:15. I'm very curious if there's going to be any surveillance from that visit there to the gas station. Did he buy anything that could be used in the murders or the dismemberment and burning of her body? Also, we don't know about Chad's cell phone pings. There's a lot of things that's going to come out at this trial, such as any surveillance, hopefully showing them, nailing them to things associated with these murders so we can get these convictions solidified. Although I do think, I have no doubt whatsoever, we will get a conviction in this case. All right, so Alex returns to Lori's apartment from 10:44 to 11:15. At 11:44, he's in his apartment. Now, we're rolling over into September 9th. From midnight until 12:44, he's in his apartment still. But from 2:42 a.m. until 3:37 a.m., Alex is in Lori's apartment. Investigators note this is significant because he's there in the middle of the night, and this is the only time in September that he is at Lori's between midnight and 6 a.m. At 4:37, Alex goes back to his own apartment until 8:59 a.m. Then at 9:21 a.m., Alex is on Chad Daybell's property at the east end of the barn near the pet cemetery and the fire pit. That is where eventually in June they would find Tylee's body. He leaves the property at 10:39 a.m. At 10:47, his phone pings in the city of St. Anthony, and investigators are unsure if he was actually in that city or if the cell tower ping hit while he was still on Chad's property. But from 10:57 to 11:39, we know he is at Chad's. Out of the 4 visits to Chad's property in September, this was the longest, 2.5 hours. So you have to think, in the trigger warning, because we're going to talk about something very unpleasant here. If Tylee was murdered in the townhomes, they have to transport her body to Chad's, which is risky as all get out, but they got away with it. She has to be dismembered. She has to be burned. We haven't heard of any kind of blood being found in these townhomes. So we know also they were testing some tools from the barn on Chad's property. My theory is she was dismembered there. From 11:52 to 12:02, Alex's phone pings at the Del Taco in Rexburg. The rest of the day, it seems he stays at his apartment. I hope he threw every bit of that up. Ugh. I mean, we know what he did there. And you go to Del Taco. The same day, investigators find a text exchange between Chad and Tammy at 11:53 a.m. This is 14 minutes after Alex leaves his property for the last time. Chad says, "Well, I've had an interesting morning. I felt like I should burn all the limb debris by the fire pit before it got too soaked by the coming storms. While I did so, I spotted a big raccoon along the fence. I hurried and got my gun. He was still walking along. I got close enough that one shot did the trick. He is now in our pet cemetery." Fun times. Just do the math, y'all. Do the math. 11:56, Chad texts Tammy again because she's not responding. Gonna shower now and then go right for a while at BYU. Love you. Finally, at 2:47, Tammy responds to Chad, "Good for you." 2:48, Chad responds, "I'm back home now." Investigators note that text is very suspicious because, for the most part, raccoons are nocturnal. But some people say they're out in the day, but still, it don't fit in with the story at all. There you go. September 10th, Alex and Zulema start referring to Chad as James the Lesser, or JTL, because they believe Chad was the younger brother of Jesus in a previous life. September 11th, investigators note that the communication between Lori and Chad on the Bubby account stops completely on this day. On the same day, the 11th, Alex pawns items in Idaho. He uses an Arizona driver's license and a Rexburg address. September 12th, on Lori's iCloud account, investigators find an email looking for Charles's tax return and also an email to Alex's landlord in Arizona saying that Alex was in a car wreck and unable to return. These people got the worst case of diabetes I've ever seen. September 13th through the 16th, emails between the Arizona Department of Economic Services and Lori regarding JJ. This place provides economic assistance to families. Not sure why she was reaching out to them when she was an Idaho resident at this time. So September 14th, there is a photo of JJ at Bear World. And I'm going to put that up on the screen right now. This photo breaks my heart. He looks just off in the distance. He's on a cute little ride. There's no excitement. Tylee's been gone. And he's just so sad. To me, that's kind of my take on it. He's just staring in the distance, not really in the moment of it. And to me, this always kind of showed maybe the chaos going on in his little heart. Investigators note they also have a 40-second video that has Alex, Lori, and JJ in it from Bear World. We have not seen that. Lori texts Alex saying she's going to pick up JJ's medication. She doesn't. Alex mentions to Zulema in a text that Lori fell asleep with JJ. September 15th, Chandler PD interviews Alex's first wife. We talked about that, how she was creeped out by how touchy they were. Zulema comes to Rexburg also until the 17th. So September 17th would have been Tylee's 17th birthday. Kay emails Detective Moffat saying that Brandon saw JJ and that he was okay. They were relieved to hear that. I believe it was on FaceTime. What's interesting is Melanie said she never saw JJ when she was in Rexburg, right? I'm pretty sure she said she never saw JJ. 3:15, JJ is recorded on a neighbor's ring cam playing outside with a neighbor's kid. Now, I will post this on the website for you to see. Kay and Larry Woodcock talked to Nate Eaton from East Idaho News about this video. And Kay said, when I saw that Ring doorbell video, that scared me to death. And finding out she was telling neighbors he was her niece's drug baby and not her son just shows me how she was distancing herself from him. Maybe make it easier for her to do something to him. And I completely agree with Kay on that. Larry said that's actually been the lowest point in all of this, even lower and more hurtful than the death of Charles. How low can you get for her to say that? It's not the person that has the loving capability of a mother. And then Nate points out you can hear JJ uncharacteristically swearing, and police documents, as we know, say she had not been filling his medication, and that can make autistic kids very unruly. And that seems to be what happened with him there. I think all of that to justify Lori's messed up reasoning for murdering her son. Kay says, I can't understand that because he would have been unruly, out of control, angry, and all these feelings that he has without his medication. It would have made her life incredibly easier than with him not taking it. The only reason I can think of her not giving it to him is, one, she didn't know where it was, or two, she didn't want to fill it because maybe she didn't want anyone to know where they were, or she was keeping him more agitated to keep her agitated, to keep her moving down the path she was on, which was a very dangerous homicidal path that she's been on since July. So Melanie's texts Brandon for his new address. Remember, they've split. Investigators note that the 17th is the last time Lori mentions either one of the kids in any of the remaining texts with Zulema. She tells Zulema she is dropping JJ off so she can go to the temple. Lori also tells Zulema if anyone seeking her destruction, it says Christina, Serena, her family and such, asks where she is, Zulema can tell them that she moved in with her brother in Queen Creek. September 18th. Lori finds a babysitter on care.com, and the babysitter comes to meet JJ and Lori. The babysitter said Lori was welcoming and hugged her, but later learned Lori had lied to her. She told the babysitter they had just moved from Arizona and her husband had a heart attack, and JJ didn't understand. She also said Tylee was living in Rexburg but going to BYU. She said Tylee didn't like to babysit JJ unless she was paid, so that's why she hired this girl. Lori told her Tylee would occasionally come do laundry, have dinner, or visit. Tylee was dead at this point. Also on this day, Chad obtains a burner phone. September 19th, the babysitter that was just hired watches JJ. When she gets inside, Lori explains she's waiting for her brother to come go with her to the Idaho Falls airport. Melanie Gibb and her boyfriend, David Warwick, were coming into town. She mentions that if they were to be late, to give JJ his medication right before bed because it works fast and it makes him tired. Then she jokes she would give it to him when he was extra tough to handle, to have him go to bed early. While Lori is gone, the babysitter said JJ had a meltdown, and when Lori returns, she shows JJ an overwhelming amount of love. And I think that is all a show. Melanie Gibb and her boyfriend, David Warwick, visit Lori in Rexburg until the 23rd, and they stay inside that townhome. Tylee, as we know, already murdered at this point. Melanie said Lori never mentioned her, only to say she was attending college. Melanie and David were in town to visit them and also attend an event for the Fern Foundation. Gibb said shortly after her arrival, Lori said JJ had turned into a zombie, and pointed out behaviors such as sitting still, watching TV, claiming JJ said he loved Satan, and had an increased vocabulary as evidence that JJ was now a zombie. September 20th was JJ's last day at Kennedy Elementary School there in Rexburg. And on September 21st, Lori and Zulema text. Zulema asks, who's seeking your destruction? And Lori says, lots of people. Zulema says it's best if Lori stays hidden, and Zulema says she's staying quiet as if nothing is happening. Yeah, you stayed quiet and a lot happened. September 22nd, 2019, 10:46 a.m. A photo is taken of JJ sitting on the couch in red pajamas. This is the last known photo of JJ, and also it seems as if these are the very pajamas that JJ was found in when he was found in Chad's yard. the next year. So Chad, Melanie Gibb, and her boyfriend David and Alex visit a property near Chad's home. Chad was trying to encourage David to build on that land. David said Lori was there. Melanie Gibb said Lori wasn't, so we're not sure. The same day, there's a string of texts between Lori and Alex that concern investigators. So Lori texts Alex at 8:55 a.m. Hey, bub, go to LDS.org and watch the new Book of Mormon videos. So good. Looks like you will appear in episode 2. And she puts a heart and a question mark. P.S. Do you have any eggs? Now, one thing that Valium or Xanax eggs, that can be a code word for Valium or Xanax, is eggs. Alex replies, I'm open. How about you? Lori says, me too. They're still in the bedroom, so not sure what their plan is, but they should be up soon. Talking about Melanie Gibb and David Warwick. Alex says, okay, let me know. Do you want me to get eggs and bring them to you? So 2 hours later, Lori texts Alex, come on over. Let's meet Chad at Terrestrial Temple in 20 minutes. And Alex says, okay. Lori says, are you ready to go? Lori says, going now. Can you meet us there? Lori asks, how do I get there? Should we take JJ to Bear World today? Are you still there? And Lori says to Alex, are you coming home? 3:07, Lori texts Alex, 3 question marks. Alex to Lori, yes, just waiting on Carissa for a fresh ceiling. In an interview with Nate Eaton, Melanie Gibb said Lori told her JJ was getting in the way of her mission and she needed to send him to Kay. Well, why didn't you do that? She said she left Rexburg thinking that's where JJ was going. At Chad's preliminary hearing, David said he saw Chad 3 times over that weekend, only once at Lori's house on the 22nd. Melanie said she saw Chad every day that weekend except the 23rd. She said Lori and Chad acted affectionately, holding hands, hugging, kissing. Of course, Melanie never saw Tylee, and Lori told her that Tylee was at school and with friends. JJ was there and would either be in the family room or outside for the most part. September 22nd, David said the night of the 22nd, he was doing a podcast in the kitchen with Melanie Gibb and Lori. JJ was not there. He was staying with Alex. Melanie said Alex brought JJ in during the middle of the podcast, which was between 9 and midnight. JJ was asleep with his head on Alex's shoulder, and David Warwick said he saw it as a tender moment. In an email between investigators that was sent February 3rd, 2020, so this is when we are looking for the kids actively at this point. The email says, I can tell you, Lori and Alex had a strange relationship. Around the day JJ disappeared, he was shopping for a coat for her. Weird. September 23rd, we believe at this point JJ was murdered at some point overnight, and Melanie and David were leaving. Between 8 and 9, Lori told Melanie and David that JJ was being a zombie and was climbing on the shelves in the kitchen, climbing on the upper cabinets, which were near the ceiling, maybe a 1.5 feet, 2 feet from the ceiling, and that he knocked a picture of Jesus off the refrigerator. David asked to see him, and Lori said he was out of control, so she had Alex come and get him. Melanie and David leave around 9:30. So at 9:55, Alex's phone is pinged on Chad's property. He stays until 10:12, and the pings have him on the northern edge of the property near the pond where JJ's body would be found in June of that following year. So I hate these episodes dealing with the deaths of these children. This is why I hope justice is served. She knew what was going on every step of the way. And that process officially begins Monday. I'll be going up on April 2nd, and I will be bringing you every minute of this trial for justice for JJ, Tylee, Tammy, and really Charles too. All right, guys. Hope you have a great weekend. I will see you Monday. We're going to try to keep rolling through this. I think maybe 3-4 more episodes. There's still a lot more to come, but we're going to condense it and make it quick because time's a ticking. And I'm going to be spending some time next week getting ready to go to Boise. So we will see you soon, guys. Have a good one.